And we're go. That is welcome to Rautas August 2025 live stream. A little bit later than usually because of various things. I was meeting a person in the city and it took me way more time than I was anticipating. So here we are, a little bit late to the party with the given stream. Obviously, I was aiming for say usually I start maybe 2 hours earlier than this, meaning it's usually something like before midnight for me, and obviously different time zones means different times for different people. But we're not here to talk about time zones. Once again, we're gonna do some questions and answers, random commentary about the year and whatsoever. So this is a brief introduction what is going to happen here. And also, what I realized, I think it was during Beyond the Gates festival a couple of weeks ago, that my Instagram account, which is obviously also mostly used for promoting Rauta stuff, not so much interesting in personal life and shit, but sometimes that too, also got 5K followers. So I decided, hey, let's do a giveaway because I always have some free CDs to throw at you. So I decided, yeah, let's do a giveaway because why the fuck not? You deserve those giveaways. I should be doing them more frequently, but I'll be honest with you, I don't always remember to do them. I try to make them more often nowadays. Keep my fingers crossed that I manage to do them. But let's start today. So there's one CD someone is gonna get today. And let's make it so that once I've done with my beer, this might be actually the only beer today because it's quite late here. It's 1:30. I'm supposed to be actually in bed now, but hey, I gotta do this stream because I promised to do this stream this weekend. So here we are. So once again, once I'm done with the beer, I'll do the giveaway. So you have to bear with me. I don't know, between 30, 60 minutes. I don't know how quickly I'm going to drink this one. As you can see, this is once again provided by Mallasepat, one of my favorite breweries, the ones that I'm doing this in collaboration because they provided me with beers. So this is German Pilsner called Spielzauger Pils. It's a beer with Saas, Tentange, Weihaben, Belghaben, Malt, and yeast and all that stuff. So not your typical sour, stout, whatever IPA. This is Pils. Maybe I'll have another one if I'm quick enough with the drink. And this time I was running here so late that I even forgot to bring my beer glass. So I'm just gonna drink this beer right out of the can. But then again, it's Pils, so it's totally fine. Now bear with me, and of course provide me with your questions. As always, if you want to make sure that I'm gonna answer you first, tag Rauta, as already some people are doing here, because then I'm most likely gonna see it. And once again, if you want to support the channel, consider becoming Patreon supporters. I will give you the link in a bit. And of course, you can always consider donating. This is totally voluntary, obviously, through PayPal. You can find the link in Rauta's videos or use Google Super Chat. But once again, donating 100, more like 666% volunteer. Don't stress about it. Don't sweat about it. It's just to help the channel to do more content and all. It's not for me or my drinks or drugs or hookers. You know what it is. So cheers to you, everybody who is gonna take part in the stream. Let's start drinking beer, answering questions, and all that shit. Yes. So first of all, obviously, I want to go through the tagged comments and questions. So going from up to down in chronological order, way tagging. Ally Dinian is saying, "Hey Jerry, love the thumbnail only. Rauta, sign me up. Thank you so much." Thumbnail once again done by my friend and channel supporter or channel helper Chris C, who is always doing fantastic work with the thumbnail. He actually had one thumbnail earlier, but the new one even better. It's always gonna fuck up your mind when you see, hey, there's this good-looking chick. What the fuck? It's not good-looking. It has a Rauta's face on it. So there's the story. Hector Garcia is saying Rauta needs some Mexican beer. Unfortunately, Mexican breweries are not likely to provide these beers for free, but yeah, why not? Hello, Ginger Rocks. Once again, welcome to the stream. I hope you got the previous CD package I sent you a few weeks ago. A new one is coming very soon to you. I mean, after all, we're talking about the August 2025 package for supporters. And Desert is saying, Congratulations, Jerry. I'll continue supporting the channel. Thank you so much. Obviously, Instagram follower base is not exactly important, but it's a good excuse. I mean, 5K limit sounds more fascinating, say versus 4K or 6K. So I decided why not to do those giveaways. What I really should do is have giveaways basically every time a 1,000 marker is done, be it, Rautas YouTube follower base or, I don't know, Facebook follower base. But like I said, I try to make them these more often than what I've been doing. I've been doing them every few months, basically. Whenever some kind of a milestone has been achieved, like 20,000 subscribers on YouTube, or I don't know, maybe 5,000 for Facebook. Now Facebook is closer to 8K. So maybe we should totally celebrate 8K. And maybe we should probably celebrate rather getting 23,000, on the channel. So maybe already next, stream should have those giveaways. But I make no promises at this point because sometimes I just don't remember to do them. But I'll try to do them. That's the point. So once again, coming up from up to down, Hector Garcia saying, "Let's go, Pats." Yeah, I hope that NFL season is about to start, and maybe this year actually Patriots has something good to offer. So let's see. Maciek, terve rautamies. Hello, hello. My rain is eternal. Hello to you as well, and as well as everybody else here. Alex Christ Crusher is from USA. Maciek is from Warsaw, Poland. So nice. I always like that people tell where they are from because it's very cool to make this so much more international. Really, I mean, it's just very very cool. Hello, Andrew Brown. You had a question. Are you aware of the Metal Threat Fest in North America? Yes, I have been aware of the Metal Threat Fest for quite some time. I mean, we're talking about almost a year now, at least many months. And the lineup is really good. I gotta tell you that there are lots of Finnish bands, which are not that uncommon, obviously, here in Finland. But yeah, it's a festival. I mean, if I could just have the budget to travel there as a Rauta, I would fucking do it. So I think people will have a good time at Metal Threat. What about other comments? Lex saying greetings from California. I bet it's more sunny right there in California than here in Finland. Oh, Lucas is trying a little bit in Finnish. Moro moro, miten menee? I'm just doing quite fine. A little bit tired. Just staying up too late. Yeah, like last night I was at this thrash metal party. Actually, two different clubs. So they were like first club had like four thrash metal acts, one punk act. The main act being Tankard. First time in Finland, I think. Maybe not the very first time, but I mean, not exactly many times. And then there was Hidden Intent from Australia, playing it for the first time, and Radux. And to be honest, I think Hidden Intent was the most intense band last night. Cool thrash, by the way. So yeah, we had some good thrash metal evening last night already. Alex Christcrusher is asking thoughts on Crimson Midwinter from Turku. It's nice that you mentioned Crimson Midwinter because some of my really good friends played in that band. For example, the vocalist Jussi is one of my oldest friends. Maybe not oldest, but old time friend from 1996 or so. He's really good, a friend of mine, and he's the boss of Metalli Helvetti, who organizes Turku Saatanale Fest, as well as some other individual gigs here and there. Really good longtime friend that is. Also, Hataka, bass player of Crimson Midwinter, he is actually my bandmate in my other band, Annihilatus. I mean, he's basically the drummer, bassist, recording guy of Annihilatus, whereas I am the guitarist, vocalist, lyricist guy. And then I also obviously know some other people from Crimson Midwinter, but let's be honest about it. I haven't been listening to Crimson Midwinter since, I don't know, the 90s. So it's been quite some time. But yeah, it was one of those interesting bands because they signed up on Black Mark, which was obviously known at that point as the Bathory label. So it was really cool and good that from my home city, basically, or nearby city, the band managed to get on Black Mark, and they had some good 1990s stuff going on. It wasn't exactly black metal, but kind of a combination of melodic death and a little bit black metal in the mix, I guess. But they had some good stuff going on, but they soon vanished after the I think first album. Anyway, that band had promise, but I don't know. The guys went into different direction. Like Jari, the guitar player, went later on to form Torture Killer. So none of the talent was wasted. To be honest, they just went into different directions. But I don't think all the ex Crimson Midwinter guys play in bands anymore. Gingerbread Rocks is asking how was your 50th birthday? And congrats again. We'll be 50 in 28th of August. It's cool, Gingerbread Rocks, that you will be once again the same age with me, being middle-aged metal men. To be honest, my birthday was fantastic because it was last Saturday at Helsinki Metal Fest Day 2. And, there were bands like Enslaved, Marduk, Napalm Dead, and of course Bloodfire Death playing, Bathory Tribute, and of course Venom too. I actually today made this Helsinki Metal Festival 25 recap. So the full festival recap will be out next Saturday. Basically, I could have put it out today, but I decided the stream day is going to be today. So the festival recap is going to be out next week. There will summarize the whole festival pretty much, what was going on, how much different things there were, with which were the good bands and all that stuff. But it was really, really fantastic to have that, birthday, at the festival, because there were like good bands, good friends, sun was shining, we had some good beers. In the end, I ended up being very, very fucking wasted. I'm not apologizing being wasted. It's just atypical of me to drink that much. But, when you are turning old, when you're turning like 40 or 50 or whatever, I mean, that's a very, very good excuse to get a little bit wasted. So getting free beers and free shots, how it goes. So I was drunk. I was having good time. So really, really one of the best birthdays ever. So very cool. Thank you, Chris Thomas, for your donation. Thank you so much for your donation. It obviously helps. To answer your question, have I ever met Miko Aspaspa or seen him live? Well, I've met Miko Aspaspa for the first time around, I think, 2000, so 25 years ago. It was 99 or 2000. I'm not exactly sure which year, but probably 2000s or 2000. And, obviously I've been talking to Miko Aspaspa many, many, many times over the years because he released my band Nightside's 7-inch EP around, was it 2000 or 99 when it came out? I don't even remember. 2001 maybe. Anyway, because our long-lasting contact with Miko Aspaspa, I've met him many times. I've talked to him many times. I actually was his 39th year celebration at his home a few years ago. So yeah, we met multiple times over the years, of course. So yeah, that's pretty much of it. Me and Miko, we go back a long way. About other comments, Zane was asking, what is your favorite black metal bands? Well, I am from Texas. Anyway, favorite black metal band of all time would be Dark Throne, and that is mainly because they did these fantastic albums like, Under a Funeral Moon, Transylvanian Hunger, Panzer Force, and of course, A Blaze in the Northern Sky, but also a little bit later, albums like Sardonic Wrath, The Cult is Alive. So Dark Throne is always, it's going to be one of my favorite black metal bands, or the favorite black metal band. I don't think it's going to be ever surpassed. Obviously, Bathory is a fucking big thing to me. Always have been. Other big important black metal bands which are really great, obviously Dissection, Arcanum from Sweden. Obviously, that is very, very, very cool. Also from Finland, Satanic War Master is important. Then again, there are these individual albums that make some bands more important than what they might be in terms of like the whole discography. Mentioning bands like Mayhem, because the Mr. Wisdom Satanas is so fucking great album. The first album by Emperor obviously is very good. But these are not as whole as important, like say dissection or doctrine for that matter. Um, but it really depends from band to band. Like there's some bands which only have like one or two really really great albums, like Mayhem, for instance. But when it comes to the all-time winners, with the big amount of great albums, Darkthrone would be the number one, followed by bands like Bathory, Burzum, and yeah, the names I mentioned, like Arcanum, for instance. So I guess that should be summarizing the whole thing. John Red Rocks, thank you so much for this big donation. That's a big amount of money. I don't know how you can afford donating that much, but thank you. I'm not complaining here. So thank you so much for your donation. And when people are probably wondering, and I keep repeating myself here, what is this money used for? Well, they're used for Rauta travels. Meaning, for instance, this year we've been doing 6 festivals. This including Nordic Metal Festival, which is a cruise, but technically speaking, also a festival. That was in February. Then Turku Saatanalle, which didn't really cost us much, just the hotel, was in March. Then in April, and I say we, I mean me and my cameraman Arto, we went to Acronym Arts in April, where we did some 4 interviews, which have been out for quite some time now. Then in May, it was Steelfest, where we actually did 7 interviews, I think. And while traveling Steelfest doesn't cost much because it's in Finland, accommodation costs a little bit. But what costs more money is obviously that Acronym Arts in Germany, and then August, where we're in Bergen, Norway, for almost 6 days. And flights and accommodation cost quite a bit when you travel to Norway and stay there. And of course, last weekend Helsinki Metal Festival, which didn't once again cost as much because it's in Finland and there was no hotel or other accommodation costs. But this is where the money is spent. Now we have a little bit savings still left from this year, and I can already mention that we're planning for Inferno 26 because the lineups look sweet. There might be some festivals before that, but I don't know yet. So at the moment, we're a little bit thinking and saving money for the coming trips. But let's say that basically at this point, pretty sure trips are Inferno 26, Turku Saatanalle 26, Nordic Metal Cruise 26. We're actually going to play at Nordic Metal 26 with Nightside. So that's not so much traveling expenses thing. And of course, because it leaves my home city, Turku, that's not really much money to be spent on. But that's pretty much how the plans go. I don't yet know about coming festivals next year, apart from Inferno. So still planning the first few months of 26. But that much I can tell you. So once again, thank you so much for donation, both of you guys, especially Ginger Rocks for this big ass money. Lucas, you're clearly learning Finnish quite well. That's nice. Aska just went through the whole R Noir discography because of my interview last year. That's really cool. Yeah, it's nice that you're going through R Noir and just popped on the stream. R Noir is definitely one of the best, maybe the best black thrash bands of all times. I really like what they're doing with their music. So great inspirational band, in my opinion. Technical, but also very fucking groovy and catchy and energetic, violent, all that stuff. Machek is asking any chance for an interview with Hendrik from Absurd or maybe his brother Wolf. Well, given that everybody knows that I do interviews face to face, I don't know how easy it would be, set up an interview with, Hendrik Möbus or Wolf. I mean, I would be up for it, up for that, obviously, if given a chance, but I don't know how likely it is to happen, because as you know, setting up face-to-face interviews is not an easy task when people don't travel or they live so far away that even if they did some festivals, it might be totally different festivals than what I'm doing. Thank you, Aska, so much. Nice to have these belated birthday wishes. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me, obviously. But all this money is not going to my personal account. They're going to Rauta account, in case you're wondering. But thank you so much. Good fucking morning, Australia. Belcher here this week says by Terrorized. Belcher is a good band, and I wish you will enjoy the show. Nice guys, too, by the way. Congrats from Chile, said by Quidrek. Thank you so much. And Alex, no problem about Crimson Midwinter. Yeah, Random Chaos is actually pretty sweet of an album, and I'm really glad that you know the album. I don't think a lot of American people even know the band Crimson Midwinter, not to mention the album you mentioned. And Chris Thomas, yeah, about the connection. It's nice to mention these connections with the people I know, people who I interact, and obviously, it's always good to talk about my band as well. It's not like I want to talk about my band, but I mean, people need to know, and of course, it's better to bring some light, some info about the band I play, because obviously it means to me more than Rauta, for instance. I mean, I've always liked music obviously a lot, as you probably know, since I was a little kid. And I think one of the dream come true moments were when I had my very first band in 1994. And while that wasn't exactly anything more than just kind of a rehearsal place and rehearsal tape kind of a band, it meant a lot to have the first band. And obviously things just moved bigger after that when I joined newer bands, which we did. First gigs, and obviously first demo album, all that stuff. So while we are now working with Nightside, some new material for the third album and all, there's also going to be Annihilator's album out later this year. Some things still need to be finished, like the cover and some other stuff. But the album has been ready for quite some time now. So obviously, I'm really happy to get it finally out, because a lot of those songs are more like 5 years old. So yeah, Busy Bee, always about the music, as you probably know. Zoe is asking the important question: most underrated Finnish black metal. Well, it's really hard to answer that question because I created this thing, or named this thing, after Rauta, called Rauta Paradox. A Rauta Paradox basically mean that there are always bands which one person says, hey, they are so underrated, not enough people are talking about it. And whatever band you're gonna drop, doesn't matter if it's big or small, someone will say, oh, it's the most overrated band. So it doesn't matter whether we're talking about bands like Metallica or Clandestine Blaze. Whatever name you're gonna drop, some people, hey, this is so underrated, not enough people talk about this band, or manage to understand the meaning of these albums, how good they are, and someone else will come and say, yeah, fuck that shit, it's not that good, it's just so overrated. So Rauta Paradox means there are no underrated bands without being overrated at the same time. So what would be the most underrated Finnish black metal band? I mean, it would be probably some band that most people haven't even heard of, some underground ones, bands like, I don't know, Helvetti, for that matter, or Flegane. Like, for example, I think Clandestine Blaze actually gets quite a bit of love, and they have played some medium-sized gigs these days, so I don't think it's that underrated. But I guess it depends on the perspective, obviously. Ginger Rocks mentions we'll see Craft for the 20th anniversary of Fuck the Universe on the 29th of September. What is your take on Craft? Well, Craft is actually, in my opinion, one of the best Swedish black metal bands of all time. I like how dark Thronian they are. My personal favorite would be Fuck the Universe, but I pretty much liked all the Craft albums. And I've seen them live. They played at Steelfest. So yeah, it's a really good band. I've seen them twice live, and now I know they have a new vocalist for live purposes and all. I tried to get interview with them, but two of those times I've asked. I mean, two of those times they played in Finland. Nope. There was this option to do a written one, a written interview, but it's like, no, I don't even do written interviews at this time at the moment. So there's that. And yeah, Ginger Rocks about the news from the Nightside camp. I can elaborate on that. We just recorded a 3-song demo in July, which was finished in terms of mixing early August. and we are figuring out what to do with the label. Obviously, we're now preparing some new songs, and there will be a couple of live shows announced very soon. I think next week we will announce a gig that will take place in November. It's actually pretty close to Sweden, by the way. And then there will be early 2026 gigs, a couple of them. Obviously, I cannot really talk about the set lists at this point, but yeah, some cool shows are coming up. And meanwhile, we're obviously, rehearsing our gig set list. Obviously, there will be, practicing some new songs too. The ones that we haven't played together. All right, back to earlier questions. Yeah, Marcus mentioned that Right for Revenge is rarely mentioned. Right for Revenge is definitely a weird cookie to crack. Too weird for a lot of people in terms of black metal. They're so unique and even experimental to a degree. So I guess that would be a band that would be totally kind of underrated band, given especially how much work they have put into their music. Um, as Zoho mentions, I think the chances of interviewing Miko Aspa or guys from Circle of Orbers are very low. Well, Miko Aspa originally promised to do the interview with Rauta, then he decided not to, and then we discussed that stuff and that option at Steelfest. Was it like last year? And it's still on the table. He hasn't totally withdrawn from the idea of doing a Rauta interview, but he is unsure, undecided. Um, he mentioned some of the reasons might be because I don't sorry, question, do the questions, the right questions. I don't ask the right questions, I think he said. And I was like, really? Who asks them? And then later on, he did Finnish interview on video with Sami Kettunen of Bestel Burst for Sami's own video channel. So it's not like video interviews are out of the question for Miko Aspa, but I think there is something, about talking in English, or maybe it's just me, I don't know, but it's not out of like possibilities. Maybe Miko Aspa interview will happen on Rauta someday, but it's unsure. And talking of Circle of Ouroboros, I actually met the guy just last weekend at Helsinki Metal Festival, and I asked about it, like could it be taking place in the foreseeable future? And the Circle of Ouroboros guy said that maybe. So maybe we shall see how it goes, but can't say anything sure about it yet. Because obviously sometimes bands say something, yeah, let's do it, and then they kind of like backtrack and say, don't, let's not do it. Lucas, yeah, that Hell Butcher thing going around 300 Iron Maiden shows. That's just a crazy amount. Thank you, Proscriptor, for your words. Um, yeah, Flegane is awesome. It's one of the best black metal bands coming from Finland, in my opinion. Um, Terrorized asking any bands you've seen or would like to see 50 times. Slayer, I think. But no, I haven't seen any bands for even like 20 times. I have this habit that if I see a band too many times within too short amount of time, I kind of lose my interest. But obviously, if I could see Slayer, I don't know, every year, I would fucking do it. If I would see them twice a year, I don't know if I would do it. Hello, Nevermore. I'm just already babbling. Hello, Nevermore Rules. Um, Can't Stop, just saying hi to everyone. Well, that's a good one. Can't Stop is, by the way, one of my favorite Suicidal Tendencies songs. And Nestor, yeah, hello Nestor. I remember you. You made that pizza back in the days with the Rauta logo, right? Anyway, hola. Um, Arbar is asking possible Destroyer 666 interview at next year's Steelfest. Well, I don't see it likely, given that I've already asked Destroyer 666 for Rauta a couple of times. They still haven't done one, so I don't know why would they do this time, but one can always ask. Johnson Rocks recently acquired an album with Funeral Nocturnum named from the aspect of Darkly Eliminated from 2001. Finnish Nocturnum, yeah, I remember that was the guy Mikko on vocals, which later on joined Swallow the Sun. I actually liked Finnish Nocturnum back in the days. He was a very young guy back in the days, but I mean, I liked him and I liked the band too. Too bad they didn't do much and they then abandoned black metal pretty much altogether. Oh, yeah, Arbar, that's a very, very nicely spotted that it's Crucifixion CD in the background. Currently, for my record collection listening, I'm in the letter K. So, just going through catharsis at the moment. I should already been filming letters I and letters J for my CD collection videos, but I haven't yet got that far. But uh, the letter I was already, scheduled to come out in 2 weeks' time on the channel. So I haven't been hurrying too much with the listening stuff lately because, like I said, letter I and J are still undone, and I'm already listening to letter K. Um, Yes, Nestor, those were two beautiful ones. The ones you did the pizzas. I just forgot to post them on the social media back in the days. So I really appreciate you did those Rauta pizzas. I remember that so much dedication. Too bad I wasn't there to taste the pizzas, but thank you so much, Nestor. You have been supporting the channel for years now, so I'm really thankful. Um, Lucas, I haven't seen the latest Vark videos. He claimed he has never heard any black metal post 1993. I don't believe that for 1 second, but what do I know? And it's been known that Vigorousness says one thing, those things that are not exactly true. Yelvul is asking, have I heard Kill Horned Holocaust from 2004? Unfortunately, I haven't. And yeah, Catharsis is definitely a really good band too. Unfortunately I don't have World Without End, and I think I missed when it came out back in the day. So that's something I need to listen to at some point. Um, yeah, Nestor, thank you so much once again. I wish I had been tasting those pizzas. Um, what else? Yeah, I kind of agree with Zoe here. Let's be honest about it. Vigorousness made some great albums back in the days. Nowadays, not so much. And it seems like he has this habit of, how to say, being revisionist with, with the past, as if he was like, giving these storytelling moments about how things were, even though he might have said something totally different back in the days. So I don't know what's up with Vigorousness and all that stuff, but I wish I still would do an interview with him. But it's weird, and yes, like Arabara said, he's absurdly image obsessed. I think it's very true. To me, it seems like he's building this brand of Vark brand more than being honest. Like for instance, I don't give so much shit about how I'm being seen. You know, like you said about how is the image. Like I mean, I could always choose say certain clothing that would be more fitting for the channel. I could stop doing Marty videos if I wanted to be taken more seriously. I could be very much more selective with the bands if I wanted to be this and that. But I mean, that's bullshit. I don't want to be this guy who makes these fakes or dresses up just for you. Like now I'm having a just hoodie. says nothing on the front, right? On the back, actually said some. It's a metal media hoodie, but I could have totally just chosen something totally different. Actually, underneath because it's anyway hot. I can actually show what I'm wearing right now is a video game shirt. It's a Watch Dogs game, Watch Dogs 2 one, if I remember correctly, anyway. So instead of some metal band shirt, I'm just wearing this. Then again, I'm a video gamer, so there's nothing dishonest about it. But my point here is, if I was so much image obsessed like Varg is, I would be making sure that all these walls were fitted with some cool posters or fucking whatever, and I would always wear the coolest shirts and all that stuff. But that's not me. I'm just an honest guy here. And if someone doesn't like what I do or how I look, because what I am, hey, can't please everybody. I'm not even trying to. So there's that. But obviously, Vigorousness does what he does, and hey, who I am to criticize him, right? Gotta say, this kind of Pils beer is very good when you are going to sauna or it's a hot day. But having drink like this when it's not super chill, it was just outside. It's not that good, but definitely drinkable. Um, Nestor is asking, do I have some armor records in my collection? No, I actually shown you all what I have for letter A in my episode of going through my record collection, letter A. And as people can see there are no armor ones in my collection. Yeah, Magic. The plan is not to stop Marty. I know a lot of people who don't like Marty at all. They consider Marty super stupid or just annoying or both. But I'm like, hey, you're not even supposed to like Marty. Marty is just an alter ego, and you could laugh at him, you could laugh with him, or you can just ignore him. I mean, there are plenty of ways to react to Marty. If you don't like Marty, just skip the fuck and move on. Marty is there to have some fun, to bring some humor to the whole thing on the channel as well. So, for example, me and my guys, when we're just around and we do some Marty videos, we get our laughs when we do a little bit of Marty here and there, but it's not supposed to be good content in that sense. It's just fun. There's nothing more to it. Delville, that sounds like a good choice. And Magic is having a Forest IPA. That sounds better than mine. Cameron is asking, what examples do you have of this with Varg? Well, for example, Varg has been giving a little bit different versions of how he murdered Euronymous later on. And he, like someone pointed out, Varg hasn't heard black metal since 1993 and all that stuff. It's really hard to believe that. Also, there was actually visual proof of Varg being a little bit full of bullshit when he was saying something like he was doing some new music. I think it's the Land of Thule thing he did a while back. Like he was saying, like he's playing all these tracks, and then someone was taking a look at Varg's screenshots of the mixing program, and he could see that he has copy pasted the guitar parts, because all the waves, how they go, the audio ones, they're exactly the same. So instead of like playing full songs, he would just do one riff and then copy. So he was saying one thing, but the image was showing another. Also, there was this video. I remember my friend told me about it. How Varg was saying like, "Okay, I got this guitar from Lidl. It costs like 50 euros or whatever, but you can play the riffs." But in the video, he's actually playing some, I don't know, Charvel or whatever expensive one. Which my guitarist friend was like, "That's hundreds of euros. That's not some cheap ass Jackson or whatever little guitar he's supposed to have." So what the fuck he's saying. Like everybody can see in the video that when he's going through these old version riffs and showing his music style, he's saying one thing and then doing another. It's almost like I'm driving my Polestar 2 electric car and then claiming to drive old Lada. That's like, why would you do that? Everybody's can figure out you're lying, either consciously or subconsciously. I don't know, but it's fucking weird. Yeah, Lucas, Forest IP sounds good. John Rock's never seen Marty. Well, Marty videos are on the Rauta channel. Just go for the shorts and go for Marty, or you can check them out on Instagram, or for my Instagram, or Rauta's Facebook. And if you go for Marty videos, they can be easily found. But I think YouTube is the most easy one because you can just use the search tools. I'll give you no fuck. I'm not gonna give you examples. I'm too tired right now. Um, okay, this is gonna be a little bit shorter stream than usually. 40 minutes in. I'll quickly have another beer, but first I will do the giveaway while I remember the first beer is gone. And remember what I said, after my first beer is done, I'm going to do this giveaway. So the question is very, very fucking simple. So the one that gives me the first correct answer will get this surprise CD, which I will show you in a bit. How many interviews we did at Beyond the Gates 2025? How many interviews Rauta did at Beyond the Gates 2025? The first one with the correct answer gets the CD. Go. Oh, 7 is the right one. That was very quick by Nocturne. So send me your email and you will get this Finnish band Infirmum as a giveaway gift. Now, I think people like John Shirt Rocks or whatever might have a clue because obviously, usually, this should be a cue for everybody. It's always we aim for 2 per day. So if a festival lasts for 4 days, you can pretty much think, he's going for 8. At Steelfest, when it's 3 days, we go for 6. So 7 is the correct answer. I was aiming for 8, but we got 7. And even that was a little bit on the stretch because for a while it seemed we are going to get like 5 or 6, but 7 is the correct answer. So there you have Nocturne. 7 is the right answer. And of course, Magic 69 would have been smart ass answer, which I'm not gonna reward is not enough. That is always true. There is nothing in it is enough. We should have more interviews than what we can do. But hey, 7 was the number for this year. Now I'm gonna get a beer and then I'm gonna talk a little bit more before I head to bed. Give me like 2 minutes. I'm gonna grab a glass of water, then I have another beer, and we'll talk more. All right, people, back in the business. And now I'm going to drop a message to my friend who helped to provide the beer. 17th of August. So the second beer and the last beer of today is more hipster one, salted licorice apricot sour. So the beer style is candy sour. And here are the major ingredients: salted licorice, a very, very Finnish thing. Some people know this as salmiakki. Then you have apricot, milk sugar, and mixed fermentation, 5.2. Now, everybody who knows anything about my beer taste do know that I fucking love sour beers and secondarily IPAs. The the joke goes, I like sour candies, I like sour beer, I like sour music, and like my wife likes to point out, sour women. That's very true. So bring it on. Damn, this is so good. I can feel it here how sour it is. It's making my face like this. So let's make it rather hasty because, like I said, I should be in bed now. It's 2:20. I'm aiming for 3 o'clock. Can't sleep all day. We have nightside rehearsals in the evening, and gotta spend some family time. So, oh man, this is so good. And Arbara mentioned pretty much that Varg is constantly active on Twitter or X and still posts on TikTok. Yeah, and he can do stuff that are totally in contradiction. And like Lucas said, Marty is a pure Finnish person. There's a little bit, I guess, Satanaki and the people like that in the mix. Maciek, yeah, this summer has been quite hot, so climate change is very, very much happening. So, yeah, Cameron, I'm sure Vigorousness would have an explanation or some kind of excuse if I was able to confront Vigorousness about it. But like I said, it's not likely to happen. I actually asked Vigorousness maybe 2 years ago about the possibility to do video interview. He never replied. So he's very selective how he replies people on X or Twitter. And yeah, Nocturne, you won. So send me the email. Arabara asked what has been the best live band this summer, same as last year, and that is Bloodfire Death, the Bathory tribute. It was wonderful. I was wasted, but the songs still so fucking good. Here is to you, Chunched Rocks. Thank you so much. Oh, Marcos, nice to hear that you got the Osmos production things. Um, Talking of Osmos and talking about Imbel Nazarene, I actually met Mika Luttinen of Imbel Nazarene just last weekend, and we talked about the possibility of doing Imbel Nazarene interview at Nordic Metal Cruise 2026. So at least for now, it's been agreed between me and Mika Luttinen that Imbel Nazarene interview is supposed to happen right there. Obviously, what I learned from the Goat Moon interview, agreement a few years ago, the artist can always, decide to cancel any possibility. And there have been quite a few of those past few years. So nothing is sure until it's actually published. But let's hope it will happen. And thank you, Zero the Hero. Thank you about the blasphemy interview comment. I was really happy that I managed to do that blasphemy thing because obviously such a legendary band. It's important to have those on the channel. Nocturne, my email address is, and see if I can. No, I can't reply to it, so I can type it like here. And there you have it, email address. Yeah, there are not too many good black metal DVDs out there. Unfortunately, even most black metal live DVDs or whatever, they're not that great. Derise is asking any favorite Finnish Formula One drivers or sports people. Now, I don't really follow Formula One, never have, but Keke Roosberg was our favorite back in the days. And of course, then, there have been drivers like, Kimi Räikkönen and for whatever, but I don't really follow Formula One, so I don't have favorites. And when it comes to favorite Finnish sports people, I guess they must have been some UFC fighters like Makwan Amirkani and stuff like that. But no, I don't really have favorites in Finnish sports in that sense because I don't really follow Finnish sports. The thing is, I mostly just follow NFL, and unfortunately, NFL doesn't have any Finnish people in the sports. SK, welcome to the stream. Yeah, to be honest, I was very very late posting these stream announcements. The funny thing is, I was actually on a fucking date, and the date lasted longer than I expected, so I kind of forgot to post the picture of beers and announce the time and all that stuff for this stream. So I was actually driving on the way home and figured out, fuck, I'm gonna start the stream in about 40 minutes. So I parked my car by the highway, then just sent the pictures to Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook to announce you people, yeah, there will be this stream. And then I continued to drive home, pick some groceries and shit. So pardon for late announcements. I totally just forgot. That's how it happens when you go to meet someone, and sometimes you just forget things because you're on a fucking date. Crazy White Boy, thank you from Baltimore. Nice to have you here. Glad you like the channel. Yeah, Magic 69. It's crazy that Vigorousness is few years older than me, and I'm already 50 now. And he's active on fucking TikTok and shit. It's crazy. I mean, it wouldn't be even crazy if he was posting some good stuff, but it's just sometimes it's just nonsensical. I mean, I don't even follow Nagash actively on Facebook, but sometimes those posts appear in my news feed. But at least he posts some sensible stuff, be it about cancel culture or covenant shows and all that stuff. So at least it's interesting to read. But I can't say I would be happy to follow whatever Weakerness is doing on social media. I my inner fan in myself kind of hopes that someday Weakerness will come to his senses and start doing rational things again. But unfortunately, I don't see that happening. Lucas is asking, how is my powerlifting journey nowadays? Progressing or maintaining? Hardly maintaining. Gotta say that when I had like 6 festival days within 10 days, obviously I've been traveling too much to work out. And on top of that, I had a little bit flu. Nothing bad, but still, which means I haven't been training hard for a few weeks now. And when I was traveling in Thailand, in most part of June, meant that I hardly could train at all during June and July because June I was traveling. When I got back in home, July, I had this horrible flu. Just where the slime leave all the fucking time, 24/7. And to be honest, it was like fuck. I'm like, I'm just trying to, survive the flu. So when I get back to the, lifting, it started nicely, and then the festival weeks come. So what I'm really welcoming is this fucking autumn because now I'm finally can be back to the gym and start doing stuff. This year has been fucking weird in terms of workout. I mean, the early months very nice, and I felt like there could be some progress going on, getting stronger again. But this whole fucking summer has pretty much been wasted in terms of, working out. So maintaining That's the word we're looking for here. Yeah, Nocturne, that's really shame how, Vark Vigorousness is doing. And I don't know Boris T that well, but what I've seen based on a few videos, he seems like a sensical guy. So yeah, I don't know why Vigorousness is what it is, but I just wish he would focus more on doing music and less TikTok. Maciek, now that you mention, actually, we were talking about Mystic Festival for next year. For this year, it was impossible because I was traveling to Thailand. But I hope that next year we could do Mystic Festival because there's nothing really happening in early June in Finland. But obviously, I don't know the budget yet. How much Rautas budget is going to be consumed by Inferno, Steelfest, and all. But yeah, let's keep our eyes peeled for Mystic Festival. Dukes was asking, "What's up, Rauta?" Pretty much being tired. Back from festivals, uh, trying to get back into the workout regime. Lots of videos already done in review videos. There are no interviews coming out from Beyond the Gates. Hell Butcher interview actually came out yesterday. And for Patreon supporters, they already have Paradise Lost interview coming out. I pretty much actually announced all the interviews on Rauta's Patreon site. So if you want to be tuned into Rauta's upcoming stuff, I think two ways are the most important. Either go for Patreon. You can just join the free one if you don't want to put any money on it. Don't worry about it. You can still read the posts or join Rauta's Discord for daily chats and updates. Anything else? Well, I guess you just have to follow the channel. That's pretty much of it. Yeah, Arbara, it's nice that you liked Blasphemy interview, and indeed, they don't have too many video interviews out there. So I was really happy that Rauta got to be one of the very few. Zero, the hero was asking, "Have I ever seen the Northern Lights in Finland?" I have, but not too many times. I live in the southern Finland, and they are not too very common here in the south. But if you would live in Lapland, for instance, you would see them more often. But yeah, sometimes we've seen them. Nocturne, I wasn't talking going out on a date with my wife. The thing here is what we're talking about here is polyamory, or however you pronounce it, or open relationship kind of stuff. So yeah, I wasn't going out with the wife. It's a good guess though, but my wife is not romantic, nor am I. So there are other things in life than just being romantic with one spouse. Yeah. Dukes, I've already reviewed Sargai's latest album, and I think it's good. Full reviews on the channel. Sarastu's latest album I haven't heard. I don't know what to say about it. And since someone was asking, I don't know, 1T was asking how was the date. Well, we had some really good talks. This was a really interesting artistic person, very weird one, but I like this person. Very smart, very creative, uh, very unusual to say the least. We talked for hours or just a couple of drinks, and then I drove her home, and yeah, it was a really really cool stuff. Sometimes you go out with the weirdest people, and they turn out the most interesting ones. And yeah, the new War Moon Lord album is pretty cool. Nocturne was asking, Jerry, is it normal for obese people to have stronger lower body muscles? I don't know, but most likely, if you're like heavily overweight, you're probably, as long as you can walk and do stuff, you most likely have some extra muscle in your body compared to the skinny ones. But, obviously, you can have muscle, but strength doesn't come automatically just because you have size. Yeah, Lucas, it's been sometimes, powerlifting is exactly that, ups and downs, and taking time to progress. Terrorized, yeah, thank you. Obviously, I wanted to do the stream just because I promised it, and the next one should be out early September. I still have a little bit on the beer in left, so let's try to make the rest of the stream before I have to go. Um, yeah, SK. It's gonna be interesting to have Fortress back to Steelfest again. They did great last time, so it will be interesting as well. So very cool to have them. Lucas, thank you for your offer about Mystic pickup. But when I'm traveling, I am always also coming with my cameraman, so it's not just me coming. But thank you for your offer. Manvir, how to pronounce it? Marvirting, how drunk are you? Well, I have only 2 beers. Actually, this is not even finished, so I'm not drunk. Um, Tabsis was asking what are my thoughts about Horna's last album. It's good. I've reviewed on the channel. You can see more in-depth review right there. Um, yeah, but usually unusual is usually best. I think so too. Normal people, common people, the kind of a gray area people, they are usually boring, in my opinion. Forlorn was asking you got a favorite American beer. Well, my favorite American beers so far have been those, uh, smaller craft beer breweries beer in general. But I think some of my favorite, and I think it's an American company. Correct me if I'm wrong, but must have been Sculpin's Habanero IPA. That was some fierce, great fucking stuff. Marcos 616. Probably the next stream will be sorry, September 13th. I was thinking about doing it during the 6th of September, which would be the gathering weekend, because it was unsure if I will make the gathering weekend. But no, I am not able to attend, but still probably makes no sense to do the stream on the 6th because it's a gathering. Yeah, and SK, I agree. The first War Moon Lord album is the best so far. And Siokan is asking once again, when is the Goat Moon interview coming? I think once we have, I don't know, some kind of a GoFundMe project. Once we can, I don't know, make something like 5,000 euros for it, then I'm pretty sure that I can just bribe, you know, um, Black Goat to do it. That's the best answer I can give. Um, Manvir Thing is asking, have I been thinking of attending Alcatraz Metal Festival here in Belgium? Actually, we discussed that Alcatraz thing just yesterday with someone I know. He was there this year and said it's a nice festival, but the first lineup that has been now announced for Alcatraz 26, it isn't too convincing. Um, so not likely to go Alcatraz 2026. We encountered in 2022 in Midgard's plot. Yeah, I was there, but I cannot, connect your username here to the face I met. So sorry, unfortunately, I cannot say who you are, but it's cool if we met. Yeah, SK, I should do. I should ask Black Goat if that GoFundMe would help. But I mean, you know, artists are prone to money, so if you can promise them, hey, you get this share of money if you can do it, then we probably could do it. Yeah, but Destroyer 666 is so good. It's definitely one of my, I mean, the favorite Australian band. Yeah, Thaba, sorry, that's a crucifixion on the background. I'm just going through my record collection letter K. Just recently went through the album 666. So obviously, crucifixion is the next one. Okay, Zero the Hero. Didn't see that much Winter Sun worship coming, but why not? Siokan, I didn't say he wants money. I am just saying that, Black Goat declined the whole Goat Moon interview. Um, what it was, 2021 or 2020, when I talked to Black Goat the last time, um, because we agreed to do Goat Moon interview. I think it was already 2018, 2019, something like that. And a couple of years later, he was like, okay, sorry, we're not going to do it. And everybody still keeps asking me, when is the Goat Moon interview happening? And I'm like, probably never, because once he promised me and I announced it, and then people have been asking me about it pretty much like every 2 months. So when is the Goat Moon interview coming? And I'm like, it's not up to me. It's never going to happen if it's up to Black Goat. But I mean, I could always ask, but like I said, jokingly, if GoFundMe would happen, probably then he would do it. I mean, after all, artists are prone to money, so maybe he would fucking do it if I would give him, I don't know, 24 bottle box of vodka. The fuck I know. That's my best guess. So obviously, don't take this GoFundMe statement as it's supposed to be hypocritical to this whole thing. I was just kind of joking about it. Thank you, SK, once again so much for your donation and all that stuff. Really compensates, my energy levels and will to stay here with the stream. It's not so much about your questions and comments. It's more about me being tired. But thank you so much. I'm trying my best to stay here. I'm finished with my second beer of this stream, and I'm then going to bed. Um, so I won't be here for long. Yeah, but I definitely, I can totally understand that being in top five bands, not in top five bands for me, but still very good. And yeah, I don't like Bestial Warlust as much as I Destroyer 666. And I've already heard Disaster's new album. Was it in July? I gotta say, I'm a little bit disappointed. It just doesn't sound very good to me. It's decent, but not as good as Disaster used to be. I would even go as far as to say Disaster's new album is one of their weakest ones. And when it comes to Imbel Nazarene, I think Rapture is probably their best album so far. And yeah, SK is right about when he wrote that quote unquote. I was just gonna say the same thing about Black Goat. Jerry just meant people change their tune if money is involved. That's exactly what I meant. Thank you, SK. My point is, people can say, I'm not going to do interviews. But if you give them like $500 or euros, yeah, let's fucking do the interview. I think a lot of people are ready to do a lot of stuff when the payment is right there. As you know, nothing is free in this world. And that goes for hookers too. So if I will say to them, hey, can I have sex with you? And they're like, fuck no. No way, Jose. You're way too ugly. And my booty has a price tag. And then you're like, hey, how about for 300? Oh, yeah, baby. Let's go and do it. You have 15 minutes. Let's go. So that's the point. Okay, Jesus Kung Fu. Asking, hi, Jerry. I see the usual question keeps appearing. Yes. A beer should spawn every time someone asks this question. If I took a beer every time someone asked me, hey, when is the Goat Moon interview happening? I would be fucking drunk all day. No, obviously not that much, but yeah. Um. Okay, a few last questions. I'm about to finish my second beer and then go to bed. Um. Yes, arre being svenska. Maciek is asking Jerry, best Goat Moon album is. I don't fucking know. I don't really listen to Goat Moon, so there's that. By the way, new Goat Moon review, Summer Forest. The split with Dead Reptile Shrine is going out soon, probably by the end of month. So there's that. Sorry for Lorne, can't stay up for a third one. I mean, it's almost 3 a.m. in the morning, and I think wife wouldn't really like if I slept all day. So there's that. But maybe next time we'll have 3 or 4 beers. Advent Sorrow, not too much, at least so far what I've been listening. SK, maybe he's trolling. I don't know. Fucking know. I don't fucking care. And yeah, Alien Terminator single is good. And Arbar, I totally agree. Goat Moon is really hit and miss stuff with Goat Moon. Yeah, the second Imbel Nazarene album is definitely one of the best by the whole band. All right, guys, it's time for Jerry's beauty sleep. So, last questions. Zero the Hero was asking, did I ever have long hair when you were younger, Rauta? Yes, I did. Before and after my military service, I pretty much started growing my hair when I was like, I don't know, 13, 14, something like that. So I had long hair before I joined the military service when I was 19. Then obviously cut my hair and it started growing back when I was 20. So I don't know, 2, 3 years later, once again, who knows how many years it takes. I had long hair. I cut my hair only something like 14 years ago. Yeah. So I have had long hair on two different occasions, and in a way, I still wanted to have long hair, but didn't fit the style anymore. Not style, but I mean martial arts, and my hair being thin. Finnish people have this habit. We have a really thin hair, so you know when you start getting hair loss for age or whatever fucking reason, it looks just fucking stupid. Yeah, Alien Terminator was indeed cool. Um, Maciek was asking what Kaivum's Natur is one of my favorite from Norway after 2000s. Well, there are better albums than Natur, like Hordom Rife stuff, for instance, but it is good album, yeah, sure. And Josan is asking if I like Cranbelial Ski. Never liked them too much. I mean, they have decent stuff, but never became a fan or anything like that. Yeah, and that Kaibum stuff, I mean, my retrospective going through the whole discography is already out there. Came out, what, last week? Yeah, yeah, yeah. It must have been last week when my Kaibum retrospective came out, and I went through all the albums because Darker Than Black sent me the whole discography, all the albums as well as EP and the demo compilation. And definitely, I can recommend checking out Kaibum. It's definitely a good band. All right, guys. Now I gotta hit the sack, so I will just cut it right here. Two last questions. Arrebarre and Born Kennel are gonna be answered. Arrebarre says, "Can I think of any bands where the first album is the only one you really go back to?" Yes, Helheim, for instance. And there are others too, but Helheim came to my mind because really it's the only album that really is the best. And I think for Kamfar too, and for example, just saw Helheim performing their first album and live in Bergen. Really solid stuff. The rest, there are some good ones, but the first album is the best, so I'll always go back to that. And with Kamfar, like I said, it's pretty much the same stuff. Then again, there are bands like Catatonia where I think the second album is the best, and then I really don't give a shit about the other ones. But always individual cases. Um, and Borganel was asking if I'm friends with guys from Darker Than Black. I don't personally know these guys, so I've never been in touch with them apart from Facebook commentary. Anyway, good night, SK, Marcus, Arbar, Jesus Kung Fu, that kind of stuff. So, all good night, people, and see you again in September stream, I guess. And obviously, whenever you have questions, just drop them in the any comments box below. If I get notification, I will obviously answer. And of course, I will see a lot of you guys on Rautas Discord for daily talks, updated stuff, and all that stuff. And even if you don't like, Discord, you can always, and I think what you should do, sign up, even if you use the free options of Rautas Patreon. Obviously, you can choose to go with the paid options to get a little bit of benefits, but more so, I hope that you will be on Rautas Patreon to get the latest updates of what's happening because there is no website for Rauta, but Patreon website for Rauta is the closest you can get for some kind of a website. Other than Patreon site, the information will be on Rauta's Discord. So yeah, that's it. And if you don't like Discord because it's social media, well, YouTube is considered social media too, so it's a little bit of that. But anyway, you can always go for Patreon. So all that. And now I bid you good night. Maybe the next stream will be a little bit longer This time only 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 2 beers. Maybe next time we go for 2 or 3. Who knows? Anyway, good night and see you in September. I will notify you earlier next time when the stream is about to start. Now, go to listen to some metal, drink beer, and fuck some people. Okay, bye.